If you own a business, you know how difficult it can be to get new clients. But what if you had your own sales team? B&I Somerset invites you to join us on Thursday, September 23rd to learn about how B&I Somerset provides a positive, supportive, and structured environment for the development and exchange of quality business referrals. Struggling to find more paying clients or want to take your business to the next level? Our group of business owners have passed hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of business to one another. Want to know how we did it? On Thursday, September 23rd at 8 a.m., we're hosting an event on Zoom where we show you exactly how B&I Somerset generated client after client for one another and how you could begin to apply the same simple steps to your business too. The reality is, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. B&I Somerset is incredible for building your personal brand and ensuring you are known. Join Somerset B&I's Visitor Day on Thursday, September 23rd at 8 a.m. via Zoom. All are welcome. For more info, visit bniwne.com/CT-Northern-Somerset-BNI. Businesses thrive by changing when the world changes, and the world is changing. B&I Somerset can make sure you don't get left behind.
Yeah. Keys to the city, baby. When you see us, so you know you really viewing greatness. In the making, double up on facts we stating. Podcasting, cruise control, city, state, the nation. So what you saying, what we saying, prime information. Facts, keys to the city, we unlocking the statements.
Streaming every Friday.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Clovercrest Media presents Keys to the City. We are streaming on all social media platforms at Keys to the City. So subscribe, comment, like, or share. We're going to be the bad parent right now because remember back in the day when you always wanted dessert and you had to wait, you had to get your veggies. Well, we're going to talk about the vegetables first, and that's the New York Yankees. We're going to talk about that, but we will get to the dessert because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just trying to get this right, we are 28 hours away for the start of the 2021 NFL season. You know what that means? We have our preview show today. We talked about the AFC and NFC last week, questions for each division. Now we give you our predictions. Are we going to see a repeat, not champion, but a repeat matchup? We'll talk about all of that, MVP, all award winners. But like I said, let's start off with the vegetables. All you youngsters back in the day, I was one of these kids, hated eating vegetables. But Ted, you know, Mom used to force us before we can get to the good, the great food, right? And Ted loves his desserts still to this day. I got away from the desserts. I become more of the vegetable guy. I like the veggies. I like the good, healthy, clean, you know, stuff like that. Not the bad and the unhealthy stuff. But like I talked about, we got to talk about the Yankees. We haven't talked about them in over a week, and boy, oh boy, guys, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. And with Joe, you even said it. I remember you finally speaking about it, saying they're peaking at the right time. Well, Joe, here's the chance for you to maybe retract on that statement because now they got everything. It seems like they're getting everybody back. Glaber's back. Gio is playing. But here's the thing. This inconsistent play once again is back. The word of the year for the New York Yankees is back, and it is haunting them. Literally in the standings, the AL East is a wrap. They have to worry about now just getting to the playoffs because you got the Sox, you got the A's, you got the Mariners, and you got the red-hot Blue Jays right on the tails of the New York Yankees. So the question is to you, Joe, because I'm going to start with you. You said this team was peaking at the right time, and I don't know about –
I said they were the best team in baseball.
So you guys are going to have some explaining to do. So I'm going to start.
Yeah.
Here we take the Yanks serious, Joe. And I'm talking about winning a championship, not just getting to the playoffs. I'm talking about winning a championship with such inconsistent play.
It's going to be tough, obviously. You know, we were literally a week ago talking about maybe this was the best team in baseball, or maybe 2 weeks ago. That 13-game winning streak, I think is part and parcel for this season. You know, they would win 13 in a row and then go 2-8 in their next 10. I don't understand it. I'll say this, though. You know, last night, again, I'm looking at that lineup, and, you know, I know you like Velasquez's defense. I get all that. Why? That doesn't win the Yankees any ball games. When's the last time you were like, oh, that the defense saved the day? This is not a defensive team. Aaron Boone needs to get his head out of his butt and get serious.
It's okay, Joe. We're a PG-13 show. You can say ass if you want.
Getting his head out of his ass. Dude, you put the real 9 guys in there. This is as formidable a lineup as there is ever in the history of baseball. It's a scary lineup. Whether you're Chris Sale or anybody, this is a tough lineup. You give me 6 deep, I got Higashioka and Velasquez and Wade in that lineup. What are we doing? And how are you going to win games?
That's the one.
Listen, it is
Joe,
and it's not.
Joe, they were winning with that lineup. Joe, I agree with you. No, listen, Joe, because and I'm not jumping down. I'm not trying. So we can go back and forth with this and then Trev. Remember, Joe, we were talking about that lineup when I was like everyone healthy with the Gallo and Glaber and like where you gonna have Glaber at 9th? Listen, I still think you're right with the part because Glaber is the superstar. That's what you traded for. That's what you want. You want him to be better. I think they're going to have to come. I think the Yankees are going to have to make a situation where a couple of years ago, remember, Andujar played 3rd, and we pulled him late in the innings. That's something that the Yankees are going to have to really consider down the stretch, late in games, because defense is going to win you championships. Because I think about what we just watched with Derek Jeter's Hall of Fame speech, and I think about that team, and it wasn't like we had 9 guys that were bashers. We had guys that played great defense. You know what I mean? You had guys that
but you had that balance. You had guys like Tino. You had guys like Paulie O'Neill.
Yeah, but Tino was a great first baseman. Tino was a great first baseman.
Even Darryl Strawberry. Guys, David Justice were bashers. Those guys were home run hitters. And then you guys had like Broshish, Knobloch, Jeter. You had guys like that had power, but were more of a balance. And that's why the Yankees work so well. And that's why I said, and you guys just killed me with it because you thought I was idiotic. But I'm saying the truth. This team was better off with that balance, to have that speed, the base running, to bring everybody back. Yeah, it's great to have all the big-time names. We all know that. But it has to all gel together to work. I don't care how many great – and it's for any sport. I don't care who the names are. I don't care if Roger Maris is coming out. You got to have still –
Ted Williams? Sure, Ted Williams?
Ted Williams.
No, he was going to say Ted Williams.
I was going to say Ted Williams. I was just going to say anybody, but that's my point is that, the names, they don't need – look, all you need to have is that some sort of balance, and the Yankees had it, and that's why they were clutch. That's why they were winning games, and that's why they were the hottest team, and at times, Ted even said it, was the best team in baseball because they were finding ways to win. And the Dodgers and Giants are still doing that, and the Rays are doing that. Now the Yankees – they're bringing back the whole gang is back together, and the whole gang, well, it's going back to the same old gang that just doesn't know what the hell to do.
I will say this, Joe, to your comment. I am shocked a little bit with your comment regarding that defense doesn't win games because defense absolutely is a must in the playoffs because you know how much an error. I know we're gonna talk about that in a second because that was part of my point. We shouldn't be surprised by any of this because it has been a roller coaster ride. But my point before was saying to Joe is. Defense does win you games, stealing bases because we know, just like walks, one error turns into 3 runs, and you go from like turning a double to play to now we're 1st and 3rd, and then it's a base hit and a home run, and now you're down 3-0. And I think defense is so valuable because Glaber has become he's not horrific. Okay, he has flaws.
I think you'd be a better shortstop than him.
Well, listen, let's talk about Xavier Bogaerts too, and the Boston Red Sox, who have guys that are superstars, but they also hit. That make a lot of errors too. All I'm saying is I know this Yankee team is best when Glaber's in the lineup, but with Velasquez's speed and defense, and if you look after than last night when he had 2 hits, before that in the last 10 games he had really struggled hitting the ball. I think he was like 1 for 13. But I'm just saying it's hard. I'm so caught in between because I love Velasquez's energy. I love his speed. He turns base. He makes every infield hit. You have to throw the ball like this. He can beat out throws. He hustles, something that Glaber and the Yankees don't do on a regular basis. He brings that ability to speed to mix with the power, and he plays a solid defense. And I think at times we forget that defense is such a viable – I'd rather have an elite defense where there's no errors, there's no turnovers because there's no mistakes. I mean, I feel like that's how the Rays always used to win. It was great pitching, defense, and running. It wasn't that they had bashers. It was because they stole bases, they went 1st and 3rd, they did fundamentals right, and they didn't make mistakes. And I feel like sometimes we make mistakes, and and it takes away from the greatness of who we are as a New York Yankee baseball team.
And it doesn't, Joe, before I let you get to your final point, and it doesn't help that the bullpen is continuously showing major glaring holes and weaknesses throughout this little cold streak right now.
I don't mean to suggest defense doesn't win championships in baseball. I mean for the Yankees, and I mean specifically this team, and sticking Velasquez at short. I just don't think it makes this a that much better of a defense. That, like you said, I'd rather have Gleyber in there. You want to Gleyber hits in the 7th. You want to bring Velasquez in for defense? Yeah, I'm all for that. But I say this all the time. I've been saying this over the last couple of postseasons too. You leave the dance with the girl you went with, and this again. You might find better. Ideally, I just feel like, and this is something Aaron Boone does, where he loses faith in players. And that, I mean, look what Miguel Andujar has never been right since that Boston game in 2018.
Yeah.
He's not been right since then. They shook that guy's confidence to the point where, and he's obviously been battling injuries as well, but he's just not the same guy. Mm-hmm. You just don't see it. And when your manager in a be-all, end-all game is like, we're going to leave you on the bench, that doesn't do anything for me. The other thing is, and you've been saying this for a while, Trev, the bullpen's in shambles. It's an absolute shambles.
You guys thought I was crazy on that?
Do you think that's because they're overused?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
1,000%. And here's my other thing. Listen, these starters got to go. They got to get through the 5th. Ideally, they got to pitch 6. Mm-hmm. I mean, this bullpen is so overworked. It's so taxed. There's so many guys on the IL.
The injuries
you're killing them.
And it doesn't help that the injuries that are going on in the bullpen, too.
Not having Chapman and Britton. If you would have told me in April that Chapman and Britton wouldn't be around for September, I would have been like, what are we, about 12 games out?
Yeah.
You probably would have said you traded them and you went for value.
Joe,
there you go.
You got the money off the books and you went younger.
You got one more thing on this?
Yeah, here's my one more thing.
It doesn't seem like a very good one on this.
Listen, I'll put it this way: I wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees win the next 9 out of 12.
Again, I wouldn't be shocked. You showed the graphic before. You look at the last 50 games this team had; they were outstanding, and now it's back to not only. Here's the thing: it's not even like it's mediocrity. You go from playing great baseball to playing like garbage, to great, to garbage, to great, to garbage again. And that's completely unacceptable to me. This all falls on Aaron Boone. And I got to tell you, if the Yankees miss the postseason, and this has become a lot more possible in the last 9 days, he's gone.
Yeah.
And who's going to replace him? I don't know. I don't care.
Shouldn't even be a debate.
This inconsistent play to me comes down to leadership, and we've been complaining about it all year. They've been unbelievably inconsistent all year. This all falls on Aaron Boone, and every night after another loss, well, we got to play better. Oh God, thank you. Abner Doubleday. That's great. Yes, I mean what? Yes, you got to outscore the other team. That's how it works, dummy. It's frustrating. It really is.
You just said complaining. Well, we know we've been complaining a lot about the New York Yankees, but we got some good news. We ain't going to be complaining because the boys will fall back. But before we talk the NFL, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back to give the 2021 NFL preview.
It's been a pretty wet summer in Connecticut, and that means more mosquitoes than ever. If you didn't have your home service for mosquito control and find you're spending most of your time outside swatting those little pests, you are in luck. Mosquito Shield of Central Connecticut provides the best value in mosquito control services because of how they treat your yard using the Mosquito Shield tailored treatment system. They don't use a fixed schedule or an identical product, one-size-fits-all service program because you can't control mosquitoes on a set number of sprays or visits. Unlike the competition, Mosquito Shield of Central Connecticut will service you for the season, whatever it takes to provide superior results. This promise has awarded them an industry-leading consumer retention rating of 90%. Visit MosquitoShieldCT.com to schedule an appointment with Wade DeCesare and enjoy the rest of your summer mosquito-free.
Well, he did say this summer, and that family looked very familiar in that video, by the way. But this is for next year. I know that the summer is coming to an end in Connecticut, not in Florida, because it's the great state of Florida.
We got it, Trev.
The Sunshine State. But if you want to make arrangements for next season, call Mosquito Shield, and also if you want to refer. If you got any contact with them, make sure it's because of Keys to the City. Bang. So speaking, bang. I'm excited. I'm jumping in joy because now, bang. No, not bad. Basketball's not yet. Basketball's coming in a month or so. So we'll talk all about that when it comes. So college football started off with a huge weekend last weekend. So we're excited. College football did its part. Great to see fans back. I can't wait to see NFL fans back now. And speaking of the NFL, we are, like I said, 28 hours away from the 2021 NFL season. And ladies and gentlemen, the boys of fall are back. Preseason is over. Injuries, rosters, they're all taken care of, shaping up. Depth charts are ready. Here we go. Let it happen. And I cannot wait for the game tomorrow as the supposed, and I'm going to say this lightly, supposed America's team, which hasn't been America's team for the past 20-something years because they've been god-awful and laughable, is the Dallas Cowboys going in to Tampa Bay. Yes, not Tampa, it's Tampa Bay. The champs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, will be hosting the Dallas Cowboys and will get their much-coveted second ring. And Ted, if you please can put that down, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Sorry, that was I was on the Facebook page just checking out the thing.
You heard it. It was so good that you wanted it again. That's usually what happens when Trev speaks. He just brings a lot of wisdom and power and truth. But yes, I got to
fired up.
Hey, Joe, that COVID must be hitting him.
that Delta variance really hit me, boys. The Delta variance really hit me. But no, we are here. It's 28 hours away. The NFL season is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. So get your fantasy teams ready. I cannot wait. I got one more fantasy draft tonight in about an hour and a half. But the thing is, coming into the season, we talk about it every year, and it feels like this is another year where there's maybe a handful of teams, maybe 5 or 6 teams that legitimately have a Super Bowl chance to win a title. But I just feel like this year is different, and I know we always talk about every year, here we go, 2020. Oh, this feels different because they could repeat. To me, this, and I don't know if me and you or all three of us agree on this, but this does feel like a realistic case that we can see not just a repeat champion, but a repeat Super Bowl matchup. I don't know how you guys feel about coming in. We'll give all of our predictions. We'll give our division winners, wildcard winners, our title games, our Super Bowl winners, and then our MVP and awards, preseason awards, I should say as well. But does it feel different from past years in the sense that we could legitimately see not just a repeat champion, but a repeat matchup, part 2?
Well, so, Trev, I was just looking at my list.
I'll start with you.
So I was just looking at my list, and what I had to say was I counted 7 teams that I had a realistic chance. That, in my mind, I thought realistically could win a Super Bowl. That's now. That's before anything else. That's midseason. That's injuries. That's trades, whatnot. 7 teams. So there's 32 teams. That means 25 teams have no chance. That's nonsense. We all know that's not so true. But there's probably, let's see, the Jets, Eagles, Bengals, Lions, Bears, Texans, Jags, Falcons, Panthers, and Raiders probably are the definites you would put your house on and would say those teams have no chance of winning the Super Bowl. Anyone else, you never know. Even the New York Football Giants might even surprise us. They have before.
I mean, there's a chance.
So, with that being said, though, you read all the stuff and I'm looking. I'm like, I think you're partially onto something, Trev, because I think
you don't have to back me up. I know.
Well, you be quiet. And all I was going to say was, I look at the league and I say, I just named about 7 teams, right, that are in the lower half. But I look at this league as very top heavy, where I look at the 6 or 7 teams and I'm like, those teams are much. You can look and say, okay, I know the 6 or 7 teams that are going to be the dominant teams this year. If for whatever reason one of the quarterbacks get hurt, then they're off the books. All right, because we all know if any of the starting quarterbacks from any team gets hurt, no one's making anything unless I mean,
Unless
sorry,
Mike
I don't think. I mean, I know Nick Foles is on the Bears, but I don't see Nick Foles coming to save the day. I don't see him coming to save the day for anyone.
Yeah,
so with that being said, I think you are on something where you look at the 6 teams, you're like, I mean, I went through SI's NFL predictions, and they all pretty much had the same 4 or 5 teams within the conference championship games and in the Super Bowl, and a lot of them had like the same teams. And I mean, I'll just say it was like the Packers, the Bucs, the Browns, the Bills, and the Chiefs. Like the NFC, you really look, it's like the Rams, Bucs, and Packers as the 3 dominant teams in the NFC. In the AFC, it's the Bills, it's the Browns, and the Chiefs.
And there's maybe you would put like
and I threw the Ravens in as a 7th team. You could take someone else if you choose to, because I think Lamar, if he goes off and has the type of year that a lot of people expect, he really takes off from where he was at the end of the season, improves on the passing game like Joe has asked for in the last 2 years. He could be the stud. I mean, there's no one like him in the league. Let's just put it that way. There's no one like him in the league. They still have a solid defense. I know J.K. Dobbins has an injury, but listen, we've seen multiple running backs come through that system, so it's going to be a very telling story. But I'll tell you one thing. Get ready, Dallas fans. Tomorrow you're starting 0-1.
So before I get into Joe, and I'm glad you brought up how it's like really top heavy. This, you know how this reminds me of, Tab? Remember a couple of years ago in the NBA when it was just like you felt like it was just Golden State and Cleveland, and there was like a bunch of other teams that were in the playoff mix, but like they had no legitimate shot. This is how it feels for me. Even like I feel like the Chiefs and Bucs, and Joe, you can intervene at any time you want. I feel like the Chiefs and Bucs are like on this category, and then I would put like the Bills and like the Packers under that, and even the Rams, if you wanted to, and the Browns. But I'm still not going to be – I have to see the Browns. It's still the Cleveland Browns. We have to wait and see on them. And even the Bills. But I feel like the Chiefs and Bucs are like on that other stratosphere, whereas it's everybody else under them, and it's those 2 that are at the top of the mountain. Do you disagree, or do you find that as a pretty fair statement?
Yeah. I mean, I think you look at Mahomes and I think you look at Brady, and those 2 guys are both in a different stratosphere individually. And I think they obviously propel their teams to, what you're going to get from them.
Yeah.
Super Bowl. You know what you're going to get from them.
Mahomes has been in the Super Bowl every year. He's been the starting quarterback.
I think the only other guy, who's even knocking on the door is Aaron Rodgers. And I just don't know how great that Green Bay team is overall.
Is he the biggest question mark coming into this NFL season? He's the one that
why would you say question mark?
Do you feel like he's the one guy that can really not have this rematch possible, like just kind of end all those dreams and hopes of maybe seeing a part 2? Is he the one guy in the NFL? So, Ted, yes. You say no. Joe says yes. Joe, I'll start with you. Why yes?
We know what this guy's capable of. I mean, he's, maybe besides Mahomes right now, the best throwing guy in the league. They're 1 and 2 in my opinion. I mean, Tom Brady 5 years ago easily is 1 or 2 there, but a little bit older now. He's still making the throws.
You trust him, or you don't? Is it more you trust him than is the team, or do you?
It's the team I'm concerned about. If I thought Green Bay as a team was a little bit better, I would feel better. I mean, again, dude, the Bucs are bringing almost everybody back.
Oh, they brought everybody back.
Literally everybody back. I mean, that's a scary proposition when you look at the way they ended the season. I mean, they were playing at a completely different level than everybody else, including the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I've read 2 articles today, one predicting the Chiefs could go undefeated and one predicting the Bucs might go undefeated.
And neither team will. And no one will.
Probably. I mean,
it's because of the season being an extra week. You guys are going to rest. I wouldn't be surprised.
Game in. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if like the Bucs were 11-3 and like, Arian says, you know what, Brady, take a week off, right? And he's like, you know what, you're right. I'm a little sore on my knee. Let's take the week off. Trev, you asked a question. It's not just Aaron Rodgers. It's Stafford and Josh Allen.
You're in love with Matthew Stafford. You're in
Dude, I know I don't have.
You might be more infatuated with Matthew Stafford than Joe was with Gary Sanchez.
Before you say something, I was going to have him as my MVP. So surprise, he's not. But I have him in my top 3. I think he's. Last time Matthew Stafford had a real defense for the Detroit Lions, they won 10 games, 10 or 11 games, and they made it to the playoff.
Amazing.
And he's thrown for 5,000 yards, and he had no running game in Detroit. He will have the best coach he's ever had. He'll have the best offensive line he's ever had. He'll have the best group of receivers he'll ever, and he'll have the best defense ever. Yes, Calvin Johnson's a Hall of Famer, but when you look at Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Deshaun Jackson, Vance Jefferson, Tyler Higbee at tight end, Sean McVay is the coach with Sony Michel and Darrell Henderson, the best defensive player in football right now in Aaron Donald, the best secondary guy in Jalen Ramsey. They'll be fine. Matthew Stafford is.
Yo, you should just have Matthew Stafford. You should just have Matthew
Listen,
Stafford.
let me just jump in.
And Josh
here for a
Allen,
minute.
Joe, come on. How are you not on the Josh Allen train? This is your boy, Joe.
He's off. Off. He's joining me. He's off.
You know, I like Josh Allen a lot.
No, I'm kidding. I like Josh Allen.
Dude, I just feel like, again, the talent gap to Mahomes is so far.
Joe, Josh Allen might be more talented. We're talking talent. We're not talking like Josh Allen has a better arm.
Josh Allen. I would love to see them. I want to see them just have.
Josh Allen.
I need to see that.
And
Bro, I've seen Mahomes kneeling at the 50, dropping dimes into the end zone.
We saw him diving like on a sidearm from 40 yards.
Josh Allen. Did you see Josh Allen? Josh Allen throws the ball from the floor and throws it to the sky.
Dude, I love the guy. I let me just. I want to address something about Matthew Stafford real quick.
Mahomes might not even have the best arm in his division.
You like Justin Herbert a lot. Gotcha. Listen, a lot of guys have a lot to prove. If you want to tell me that you're in Mahomes' category, this is going to be the year to do it, and you're going to have an extra game to get there, which is going to be very helpful, I think, to a lot of teams. My problem with Matthew Stafford, and you kind of highlighted it, listen, throwing for 5,000 yards with no running game. Well, yeah, there's no one to hand the ball to. Also, you're down 3 touchdowns. What else are you going to do? Run the ball? You don't have much of a choice. It'll be interesting to see. Seriously, it'll be interesting to see. Because look, I know you're super high on Stafford. I want to be. I really do. And only time's going to tell here. He's certainly got the talent. We know how good he was, and when he does have some talent, he plays pretty well.
And he's a tough SOB.
Absolutely. But let's see what happens when he has to start feeding the ball to a running back and doing some. Let's just see how it plays out. Yeah, I don't know. I like Stafford. I love Allen, but again, to me, you look at the numbers that Mahomes puts up each and every year. He's on a whole other level. He really is.
Now, I'm not going to take away from this thing, and I'll make it real quick. But I did say this 2 weeks ago, and I thought you both were in agreement. Though, if other than the Buccaneers, if you look from top to bottom, you went, position ranking, quarterback, running back, receivers, tight ends. The Cleveland Browns are right there, bro. And the problem, hold on. The problem with them, though, is you just question Baker if he's good enough or he can make the plays. Because here's the thing: they have the perfect. They almost proved it last year. They almost have the perfect formula to beat the Chiefs. They have a dominant offensive line. They run the football. They got the receivers and the defense. And now with Clowney, if Myles Garrett can stay healthy, and the secondary should be much more improved in their system again. And here's the other thing. Teams that beat the Chiefs scored a 52% of the time. And the reason why I say that to you is because both the Buccaneers and the Chiefs scored last year either a field goal or a touchdown on 51% of their possessions.
My thing with the
Browns, you have to score with them.
My thing with the Browns, it's not Baker Mayfield, because I think Baker is – I love Baker. I think Baker's going to do his thing this year. It's just, for me, it's the Cleveland Browns. I mean, we've seen expectations. I mean, we haven't seen expectations like this, but how are they going to handle Super Bowl aspirations type expectations? This isn't a team now that's like, okay, let's just win the division and just get to the playoffs, and that's good enough. No. This is a fan base that is hungry and waiting and wanting a title. And they've been wanting to get out of the cellars of the NFL and the laughingstock of the NFL. Now they're getting that respect. It's, for me, Baker is going to do his thing. He's going to get paid. He's a good enough quarterback. Is he great? I mean, time will tell if he's great. But he is a good enough quarterback to succeed in this league. And he's got all the pieces, 100%. Talent-wise, they may be the most talented team in just the AFC. I wouldn't say the NFL. I still am going to say the Buccaneers.
No, I said second to the Bucs.
I'm going to say the Bucs are the most talented team, but for me, it's the Browns trying to get over those expectations because there is a plethora of expectations. The hype for them is the highest it's ever been for a Cleveland Brown team that I've ever seen in my lifetime. I don't know what it was like back in the day because I was not alive.
No, Joe, this is probably the most hype they've had.
Yes, this is a Super Bowl. And
even with the Bernie Kosar years.
I mean, we're already talking about them in the AFC title game. Are they going to the Super Bowl? Can they even win the Super Bowl we're talking about? That's where the Cleveland Browns are expected to be now this year. And for me, I say with Joe, I mean, just Brady being Brady, he gets another week. They know the system now. Here's the thing. They didn't know the system as well as they did last year because of all COVID. They didn't have all training camp. So this team is as gelled as it's ever going to be. They have a full same roster that they put on February 5th of this past year. And they just beat the crap out of the team that's been dominating the AFC and the NFL for the past couple of years in the Chiefs. That's what they've been doing. So I expect Brady to just continue his Hall of Fame, his GOAT status. He's going to break every record again by the end of this year. So he's going to just continuously do his thing. I don't care if he's 45 years old. He's on page to win his 8th title. And it's a very high expectations. Or we expect him to be in the NFC
but
title.
He knows how to handle it, and Baker does it, and also Baker hasn't gotten paid.
And Mahomes is just like Joe said, he's on another level. And now they addressed the one thing that we all felt was a glaring need on that same February 5th night, and was the offensive line. They go trade for an all-pro left tackle. They go get an all-pro left guard. That line is a completely new look. Offensive line with Mahomes having time. I mean, he picked apart the league for years now with a semi-decent offensive line. Can you imagine what this man can do with a full like Dallas Cowboy type line? Like, this is just where these teams are. These two teams. These two teams are on another. I feel like they're on a trajectory to meet in Los Angeles this year. How do you feel, Joe? I mean.
Look, I think Cleveland is a serious team to keep your eye on this year. I think that's one of those teams that
is that the one team, or do you have how many teams do you feel can threaten both the Bucs and the Chiefs?
Well, look, I think Buffalo legit. I mean, they got to get a running game going there, and they certainly got the guys to do it. But if they can't run the football, you're going to run into the same problem the postseason. Baltimore is always a threat, but again, it's all going to fall postseason time on Lamar Jackson. You know how I feel about that. The Chargers, I think, certainly a team you have to be aware of. If that defense is back to what it used to be, and if Justin Herbert can improve on last season, imagine that. That team could definitely be a factor, especially in the AFC West. So, yeah, there's definitely some teams there in the NFC. I think you have to definitely look at Seattle. I think Seattle could be a team that makes. Listen, Seattle's just one of those teams. They're going to have home games with that 12th man. That's going to make a difference for them.
Well,
I think certainly Green Bay is a team that can challenge the Bucs. Okay. I don't know that there's many others. Maybe the Niners. We'll see how the season goes with them. But I mean, to me, and I think Teddy said it off the top, there's just a handful of teams. Like legit that, again, if things go well and they're playing right,
but we all think Tampa and the Chiefs are on, whereas everybody else is like that tier. But yeah, that's
head and shoulders. Okay. Head and shoulders right now. Again, it's going to take a lot for somebody to prove you wrong. Real quick, let me just jump on Matt Stafford for one more second because I just looked up the numbers and I look, everyone's fascinated. Took the Lions to the playoffs in 2014. He was a younger man. 8 years ago.
He was a younger man.
He hasn't come anywhere close to 5,000. He hasn't even hit 4,500 yards since then. And again, no running game.
Stay healthy.
No running game. He missed 8 games in 2019. Otherwise, he's played 16 games every year. 7-9, 9-7, 9-7, 6-10, 5-11 last year. And you're coming back with an even worse team. I'm sorry, he's gone. Detroit sucks, I mean to say. He's in a much better spot, but what's the first thing that happened?
Running back goes down.
There you go. So there you go. Right back on him. it's going to change the balance of the offense.
Okay.
He's not exactly fleet of foot. And again, this isn't a young guy anymore. I mean, he's getting up there in quarterback years.
Listen,
he's like Teddy. He's like Teddy.
Sean McVay took Jared Loser Goff to the
playoffs.
Loser. Oh yeah, that's a bad word. No, listen, You're just mad because he makes $150 million guaranteed. You ass. I'm the loser. Trust me, I'm the loser. I know.
Stafford will be 34 a couple weeks after this year.
You know what?
And he'll be watching.
34. I like it even more this year.
I thought you might. Does that feel right?
So hey, how do you want? So I'm gonna put up the AFC Ted's AFC divisions. Do you want to do AFC first and then NFC? Yeah,
listen, let's start with the best. So might as well.
All right, so we're going to do all of our AFCs. And so here's Ted's AFC seedings 1 through 7. Remember, there are 7 teams making the playoffs again, but only the 1 seed gets to bye. So we all
this list will come out later on.
We'll post that list by tomorrow.
See that, Joe?
Tomorrow.
There's all the winners, Joe.
Yeah.
Scores, records, everything.
Yeah, he could see it.
That's like from Back to the Future. That's like that book.
We will all post and this goes including for Joe as well. He will be posting his keys to the city predictions and winners.
Joe, you got any shockers? You got any shockers? You got anything to say?
The Broncos. Why? Yeah, the Broncos.
Yep.
Why?
I looked at. Okay, so I'm going to explain why. Here's why I love their defense. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, defense is great.
Here's the other problem. The reason why I don't have the Chargers. What just happened there? I do not want Pinterest. All right. If you look at the first 6 games of the Chargers, and I'm going to give me 2 seconds, my friend, this slow ass computer.
Should already have it.
Here we go. I look at the Chargers: Washington, Dallas, Kansas City, Raiders, Cleveland, Baltimore, bye, New England. I look at that. As good as they are, they could start 2-5 and not make the playoffs, because I look at their schedule is very difficult. And I don't like the schedule. And I looked at the Broncos, because you got to look at the Broncos last year finished last, so they're going to play the 4th place teams of everyone else in the conference.
Which Denver's going to start off 0-1.
I don't think so.
Wow, doesn't even have the Giants having a chance. Look at that, Joe. Where's the love?
Here's the thing: if you want to get into this, who's blocking Von Miller and Bradley Chubb off the ends for the Giants? Andrew Thomas. We better run double tight ends and just run 2 receiver routes all day, because I don't think our 2 left and right tackles are going to be able to block those guys. Because I haven't seen them block anyone in the preseason when they were blocking the 2s and 3s. So good luck blocking an All-Pro and another All-Pro.
So you trust Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock?
Teddy Bridgewater won't make a mistake. Daniel Jones will, just like in the goal line when he throws the ball across.
I'm talking about them getting to the playoffs. You trust Teddy Bridgewater?
I do trust Teddy Bridgewater, because Teddy Bridgewater can win. And he won't make the mistakes. And I like their offensive line. I like their dual running backs with Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon. And I love their 3 receiver sets with KJ Hamler, Cortland Sutton, and Jerry Jeudy. And they got Noah Fant at tight end. I think here's the thing. Here's what I've noticed since 1993. At least every year, at least 4 teams that did not make the playoffs made the playoffs the following year. Every single year for almost 25, 30 years. So someone's got to make the playoffs and someone's got to be out.
Joe, I did a bad thing. I let Ted go first. Should have never let Ted show his list. I think we should have started with your list. It's a terrible list, Ted.
By the way, Teddy Bridgewater down the stretch last year lost 4 of his last 5. And in those 5 games had 2 touchdowns and 5 interceptions.
Yeah, he stinks.
Listen, first of all, he's playing for Carolina. I think he'll do better for the Broncos. And listen, Trev, if not, and we thought both Drew Lock would, I think, and guess what? If you have to bring Drew Lock's not a bad guy to bring off the bench. What, we're going to bring Mike Glennon off the bench?
Oh, Joe, he went there.
Why? Why take a shot at Glennon? What did he do? What did Mike Glennon do to you?
Well, here's Joe's list, and
so Joe has a cold, and he loves the Titans. He loves the Titans, and he doesn't have the Titans in the playoffs.
And he's a King Henry guy too.
It's sad, but I think I had him going 11-6 and missing.
Yeah,
you have them.
They lose on a tiebreaker. Yeah.
And Joe, you know what else I'm surprised, Joe? This is where I got to pick on you. Your boy, How do you have the Dolphins in over the Patriots? Mac Jones, you like Tua over Mac Jones now?
I love Mac Jones.
No, he's saying that because he thinks Deshaun Watson's going to be wearing the green jersey before the season ends. That's why.
Do you really? Is that really why you did that? You think something like that happens? Is that the reason why the Dolphins? Or you just have that much trust and faith in Tua?
It's not Tua, it's that defense and it's that coaching staff. I think they could find ways to win games. I'm just not sure the Patriots coming off the year that they had, and I know a lot of guys are back. There's a lot of uncertainty.
He's been cooking. The pot is cooking. He's stirring the pot. Bill is ready to go, bro.
Mac and cheese is starting to
happen. He went, all right, Tom, you got yours. I'll see you soon. I'll see you very soon. Well, they are loaded. They spent over $250 million in free agency and signings. They're ready to go. Their offensive line hasn't been this good in years. I know they have no weapons on the outside that great, but they're going to find ways to win because Mac Jones is an assassin.
Wow. Mac Jones. All of a sudden, you guys are all big Mac Jones.
Mac Jones!
Mac and cheese. All right, so, Joe, it's not a bad list. All right, we'll save the best for last.
I tried not to go with my heart.
Chiefs, Bills. Okay, same thing. I had the top 4, 5 Ravens, Chargers, Patriots. That was exactly what mine was going to be. The only reason
I feel like the Patriots are going to make the playoffs this year. They are could be a dark horse to make a Super Bowl, and they have everybody coming back. They have Mac Jones. They have now the era has begun. Now the new era has begun in Foxborough. You still have Belichick. You know he's motivated more than ever to get to the playoffs and try to win another Super Bowl. You added weapons in the free agency. You became unlike Patriot unlike, and going and spending all the big bucks. And you have, like I said, you got your quarterback. You're taking a chance. Now I don't need to see your damn list.
I had the Chargers. I had the exact same list, and I flopped it right before I sent you because I looked at the schedules, and I looked at the schedule of the Chargers, and I said, it's very difficult based off last year's teams.
I think all that talent, if I know it's a big if, because with their talent, they can stay healthy, they can compete deep into the playoffs. I'm not talking just getting to the playoffs, deep into the playoffs. They have the talent all around, offensively and defensively, and they got a new coaching staff who won't find ways to blow games.
So playoffs would be Bills versus Patriots.
So we can only hope that the Chargers put it all together. But the Patriots, the new era begins, and they're taking a huge chance on Mac Jones. But I think it's going to be a risk that will become eventually a reward for the New England Patriots and all Patriot fans. So let's get over to NFC. I'm going to start with Joe.
You know the Broncos are a favorite this weekend? They're a 2.5-point favorite over the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants are coming into the season expected to be one of the worst teams in the league. I expect the Giants. Whatever, it's fine.
Do you know the Giants have started 0-2 the last 6 to 7 years?
Well, here's my NFC winners.
Man, Giants. He's got the Giants. Seahawks, 49ers. Oh, so you got two NFC East teams.
The reason I put Dallas, got to hear me out. I just see the talent. I expect this team.
49ers?
The Niners at the 6. Dude, you have a problem with the number 6.
He does not like the number 6.
He does not like the number 6.
Jared called it. Sixlexia. He does not see the number 6.
Oh, I know why. Okay, I got you.
I put the Cowboys because talented enough. I do not trust anybody in the NFC South. I don't. The NFC West, I got 3 teams in the NFC West.
Why do you trust the Cowboys more than the football team?
In the NFC North, I don't think the Vikings are going. I'm sorry. I trust Dak more than Kirk Cousins. And the Bears, if Justin Fields plays the way he was in preseason, then yes, maybe the Bears with that defense. But I'm going to go with Dallas just because I expect Dak to stay healthy, Zeke to have a bounce-back year. And with the offensive line coming back, I expect them to put up a lot of points this year. Theirs is a big-time offense. I know they're already losing Zach Martin because of COVID, a huge loss, probably their best player on offense. But if that defense can be just semi-decent, they have a chance to make noise. And this is coming from a Giant fan because that defense, you can't get any worse than it was last year if you're the Dallas Cowboys. If they are semi-decent, they can compete to get into the playoffs. And I got them as a wild card team. Call me crazy. So I have three NFC West teams, but we did say last week the best is the West. It's the best division in football. So we expect big things from this division. Any questions?
No.
I'm not gonna bash the Giants pick because I'm a Giant fan. I just listen.
I'm taking a chance.
Listen, I totally get where you're coming because I could easily been a homer and put the Giants too. This is one of those things where I'd rather be proven wrong. I want to be proven wrong. I just don't see it. I know I'm not there on the daily basis, but I don't see it. I mean, everything you even read on Twitter, you don't see it. Somebody even tweeted last night. Do you realize that none of the starters have all been on the field at the same time?
No.
I mean, Kadarius Toney, Galladay, Shepard, Barkley. I mean, Kyle Rudolph.
That's why I'm taking a chance. I'm taking a chance with them. I'm gonna find. I never picked the Giants to win the division, but I'm taking a chance to see if they do it.
I was trying to do the opposite, Joe. Pick the opposite and then let him shot.
This is a division that's wide open. So here's Joe's list.
He's got the Giants too.
He definitely has the wild card.
Whoa.
Yeah, he definitely has the wild card of all these division picks and wild cards.
The 49ers, the Rams. Listen, I understand.
I have the Niners. They're fifth.
You didn't have the Rams? Joe, you didn't have
I had the Rams. I think I had the Rams tied with somebody and missing out.
Joe, you've been hanging out with Farmington way too long. I think some of that smoke or something's coming from killing you, bro. I don't know.
I think it's that mosquito shield.
I mean, you must have got pesticide or something. But Carolina,
Joe,
I think Sam Darnold is going to prove everybody wrong.
He doesn't have the Rams.
I think he's going to prove everybody wrong.
Oh, Joe.
And
this might be
he's got Christian McCaffrey back. I think Christian McCaffrey's going to put up 2,500 yards all around this season.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
He's my spoiler alert. He's my offensive player of the year. I think he has a bounce back year like nobody's business.
All right. So
I think he's going to put Carolina in a really good spot. And why
is there not much more hate on this list? This is a list that
bring it. Come on, I'll take it. I don't mind.
Terrence Marshall could be very good for them, but I just don't see how the Rams are not in 10. I'll finish off with you because Joe, my man Joseph. We need too much of those Reggie bars. So this list pretty boring.
Yeah,
not really much to say.
Yeah, probably because there's probably the most accurate.
No, Vikings? Give me a break.
Listen, the Vikings offensive line will be well improved.
Yep.
Okay, their defense will be much more improved. Mike Zimmer's job is on the line. All right, they brought in Patrick Peterson. They brought back oh my God, who's the defense end they brought back? He was on the Cowboys last year. They released him.
Everson Griffin.
Their defense should be much more improved. They picked up a bunch of D tackles. They still got Hendrick and Anthony Barr at linebacker. They have Harrison Smith at safety. Their defense should be much more improved. Kirk Cousins is non-vaccinated, so he'll be fine. He'll be ready to roll. He'll be like Superman out there. Okay, you still got to love Justin Jefferson, a second-year player. You got to love Adam Thielen. He puts up numbers even though he gets hurt. And listen, Joe took him third overall. I think Dalvin Cook, as long as he stays healthy, is up for another big 1,500-yard season.
Surprised he didn't take Sam Darnold number one. Anyways, I think Joe definitely gets the nod for the best one.
Yeah, if I'm at a Joker's club.
Oh, he's going after you. Joe, you've been eating too much.
What do I have? You got
the
really Washington football team, and I've got the Giants. We both got the Vikes, the Hawks.
You picked the
Rams.
I got dude. I just think that the path for the Panthers
what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Risser and the Astros. I think Joe. I think Ted's going to be secretly a big Rams fan this year.
So,
yeah, totally.
Now the football team.
So here's the title game.
Hold on, one thing, and I'll make it real quick. The football team I had as the repeat champions the first time since 2004. I looked at Dallas. I think their defense is too flawed, even though their offense might score the most points in football. And the only reason why I didn't pick the Giants is because I'm doing the opposite. I'm doing George Costanza. I'm doing everything the opposite.
We picked opposite every year for the past 5 years, and they don't win anyway. So might as well just go with them to win. Anyways, here's our title games. Nothing too shabby, nothing too sexy. Pretty expected. Chiefs over Browns, Bucs over Rams. I don't see any disagreement. I think Joe will have a big disagreement because he probably has the Panthers against the Bucs. But anyways,
I don't.
I don't.
Not for nothing. Everything else is filler. To me, there's
Chiefs
four
versus
teams.
who? Chiefs versus
There's four
who?
teams
Bucs
that are
versus
going to
who?
be playing for the AFC and NFC championship game.
That's what it comes
I would
down
be
to.
shocked if anybody crashes the dance. To be honest,
Pretty much. It
really,
should
everybody
be-
else doesn't matter.
You know,
hold
hey,
on,
can
hold
I?
on, Ted.
You know, who I could see as a sleeper that we didn't talk about, and we won't get into it, but we'll save it for that. Is the 49ers. Depending on what happened with Garoppolo, if he stays healthy, especially with having Trey Lance in that extra package like the Saints have, their defense comes back healthy. You got to like Kyle Shanahan. George Kittle comes back for injury, and they got a 3-horse and running backs, and their offensive line is solid. So watch out for the 49ers as a sleeper team.
Joe has a repeat of this past year's championship weekend. Chiefs
Love
over Bills. I mean, really, to me, it comes down to Chiefs versus who, Bucs versus who. That's honestly, I know it sounds so boring and annoying, but realistically, that's what it seems like it's going to be, because these two teams are just on a different level coming into this season. So there's nothing new here. Looks like we got Chiefs and Bucs in the Super Bowl for him. We also have the Chiefs and Bucs part 2 again for Ted. So do we make it a perfect 3 for 3 for Trev? Here is my title game.
Oh, you did have the 49ers.
My grandpa loved the San Francisco 49ers. I think the X factor, you talked about X factors. I think Trey Lance, I've been talking about it. If he gets an opportunity, it doesn't matter if it's week 4 or 5. If San Francisco puts him in, he can be a difference maker and an X factor for this team to go very far. They are talented enough. They're bringing back everybody. And this was the same type of team that just went to the Super Bowl a couple years ago. I'm telling you, I know that I sound crazy. I don't expect them to win and get to the Super Bowl, but I think that team is a dark horse to get to a Super Bowl.
Joe, got to ask you one quick question before.
That's not true. Don't believe that.
Okay. Joe, I can't take you serious now after you put the Panthers over the Rams.
Listen, I'm just not as infatuated with Matt Stafford as you guys are.
Joe, didn't you draft Matthew Stafford? Fantasy?
I did.
He's
the best available quarterback. What's it going to do?
All right. So
I love it. I love it.
So
I got Justin Herbert in another league. You know how I feel about him.
And I got Justin Herbert as both of my quarterbacks in one.
Also, Trev, not for nothing, but Chiefs over Browns. I could get down with that. It could be the Browns or the Bills there. I don't know if I necessarily agree with the Niners. But I see. I'm with you there.
I don't trust anybody. Joe, the reason I picked the Niners, I don't trust anybody in the NFC. I don't trust the Packers. I think we talked about early in the show. The Packers are a big question mark. I know Rodgers and Adams are going to do their thing, but it's everybody else.
Do you know I've seen a lot of?
I don't trust the Rams enough. Hold on. I don't trust the Rams enough. And I think with this team, the 49ers bringing back everybody and them healthy, I think that this team can make a deep run. They were in the Super Bowl when this team was at full health.
I will say this. I've done a lot of research on this based on the experts. I've seen a lot of people, experts that do this for a living, pick the Packers in the Super Bowl. And they're calling it the revenge tour.
Well, we'll see.
Because and I get it, because if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Look at Brady last year. Didn't it seem like revenge tour, like he kind of got like ousted out of New England, like, yeah, you're old, you're fat, you're no good.
Yeah, I know it feels like it.
You know what I mean? And then like he wanted to prove everyththing. And like what better way would Rodgers to stick it to, well, not, I mean, who's he sticking it to if he wins a Super Bowl other than anyone? But I mean, this is how I think he sticks it to the Packers. If he wins a Super Bowl and he goes to the Packers, goes, man, you really wasted that pick on that quarterback, and you just got a guy that just won the MVP and now won the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Well, and I could have been here for another 2-3 years, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams, hey, the Tampa Bay just played in their home stadium. Why can't the Rams play in their home stadium?
Oh, Teddy, you again with the freaking Rams. Anyways, let's get into our awards winners, and then we will make our Super Bowl 56 predictions. So here's Joe's award winners for the list. MVP Mahomes, no problem. McCaffrey, he already said. Chase Young, I love it. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Mac Jones, that's his boy. Micah Parsons has been one of the big names. I put this one, Joe, because I figued you would say.
No, totally. Yeah, I didn't know you wanted that. I would have picked
No, Ted put it in, so I just added it for both of us, and I figured I say that's what. Yeah, it's either going to be Dak or Saquon, I would say, for the comeback play of the year.
Thank you.
I would have
said Saquon.
I have no issue with any of these. I really don't. Mac Jones looks like he has a golden opportunity to win that. I think one of the quarterbacks, or maybe even a running back or a receiver, maybe one of them. I like the Chase Young one. I think that's going out on a limb because there are some great pass rushers in this league. But I like it. He's an emerging.
That's not good for us. That is not good for us.
What are you going to do? He's an emerging star. You knew what they were going to get when he came out. I mean, he was an all-time.
And we got the worst tackle of the 4. Yippee.
Yeah, whatever. So I have no problem with Joe's list. I'll go with my list now.
Oh, you guys didn't do Coach of the Year?
No, I mean, for me, no, I didn't do Coach of the Year.
I did.
That's fine. Thank you.
I like to go up. I like to go beyond, over and beyond the hill.
Yeah, of course you do, Ted.
Josh Allen, CMC too. Wow, offensive player. Yeah, great. Guy comes back. Yeah, defensive player. TJ Watt. Hopefully he plays.
I hope he does too.
Najee Harris. Oh, I forgot about him. Nice.
Love Najee. I think he's going to be an absolute beast for a team that's going to, I think, struggle.
Chase Horn from the Carolina Panthers. Joe's going to love that pick.
Dude, that'll go a long way towards that postseason run.
And then Saquon. I mean, pretty original stuff. You want to talk about original stuff? Here's the most original freaking list of the whole day. Boring. I'm surprised you look, Joe. Offensive player of the year.
That's because Stafford's throwing for what, 5,400 yards?
He's going to throw more yards than Mahomes and Allen.
He doesn't have to throw for more yards. He can still win offensive player of the year and not win MVP.
He's not going to win MVP, but he's going to have better stats than all those guys.
He doesn't. All he has to be is offensive player of the year.
What does he have to do? Throw for 2,500 yards? He can still win offensive player of the year?
I bet he throws for 42 touchdowns and 4,800 yards.
Wow.
He hasn't thrown for more than 30 since 2015.
Whole new year, Joe. Whole new system.
Yo, come on. Make a bet. You two are in Connecticut, so make a freaking bet right now. Please. I need this. We need
Hold
a
on.
bet.
Do you want to keep going? You see my rookie of the year? Joe, you see my rookie of the year?
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
Yeah. We're here. We're here. I like it.
He wants to get back to this. No, we're making a bet right now. We're doing
and Coach of the Year, Belichick. Coach of the Year, Belichick.
I like it. We're doing a bet. This is a live bet right now. We're starting bets on this season, and you and Ted are going to have to do more.
So what's he got to take? Like, what's the bet? Like, who's he taking? Because
Joe, I want you. No, you do it, Ted, because you are so high on Matthew Stafford. What are the numbers? What are going to be the stats?
Listen, I'll give a game and a half. I'll take a game and a half that the Rams have a better record than Carolina.
No. I don't want. No, that's stupid. No. That's stupid.
Let's talk Matt Stafford. Let's talk about this offensive player of the year nonsense.
All right. So how do you want to compare him? How do you want to compare him?
He's afraid to make a bet.
You said how many yards are you going to throw for? You say 5,000? Legit?
I would say 4,500. Go for over under
4,600.
Over under 4,600. Joe, you say under.
Yeah, and again, I'll point out last year in 16 starts.
And how about
4,084 yards?
How about touchdowns?
You think he's going to throw for like another 500?
How about touchdowns?
That extra game's going to be a big one.
How about
touchdowns? Last year, 26 touchdowns. Let's see. When's the last time he hit 30 in a season? He hit 2015. Otherwise, 24, 29, 21. And again, this is a guy who's constantly throwing the football. So he has no running game, and they're always down 3 scores.
And over 36.5 touchdowns.
All right, so 36.5, okay, 4,600 yards passing. So Ted has the over for both. Joe has the under. Now, what's the bet?
Can't wait till he throws for 5 against the Bears on Sunday Night Football.
What's the bet?
What do you mean? What's the bet? I'll go up and visit him and buy him a sub from Wethersfield. I'll buy him that huge ass sub he could buy for his family. Boring. I still haven't seen you wear the Biden shirt. Boring.
I'm still waiting for it to get donated down here.
Give me your address. I'll mail it to you.
Yo, you should have gave it to me. I would have brought it to him.
Oh, you would have loved that too, huh?
But okay, so the bet is in line, and this is for an entire.
We'll come up with a bet. We'll come up with a bet by the next.
You guys will come up with it. It's a seasonal bet, so you have the whole season to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, we'll hammer that home. We'll hammer off the details.
Joe's probably hoping that he does well because he has him on his fantasy. So Joe's kind of in a pickle right now.
It's a tough spot to be in.
You might have to trade him, Joe.
4,400 yards and 34 touchdowns is what I'm hoping for.
I love it.
I went for 2 more 100 yards and 3 more touchdowns.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end of the 2021 preview show. Thank you for everybody that's been watching so far. Go check out Keys to the City on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or at Clovercrest Media page. And you can follow the Joe Aguirre at Twitter and Roll Call and anywhere else that he's around because he's all over the place. Maybe in Carolina by the end of the year. Anyways, let's get over to the much anticipated Super Bowl 56 matchup. And we will start with who wants to go first? Who wants to go first?
Hey, I'll go first.
All right. So here's Ted's. I don't know what you have, Ted. You have Bucs and Chiefs. Who do you have winning?
I have repeat champion.
Okay. That's what I had. All right. So there it is. That's Ted's Super Bowl 56 prediction. Bucs over Chiefs. We'll make this quick. Joe, we're going to show this list. Joe has Bucs over Chiefs.
Yeah.
Do we make it a trifecta? We do.
Come on.
We all have the Bucs and Chiefs, and we have the Bucs winning again. And maybe, just maybe, Joe could be happy to see Brady finally go off into the Tampa Bay sunset. Or does he go for number 9? I don't know, Joe.
Joe, just now he's
better not. Just hang him up, Tommy boy. Let's win another one. Let's call it a day.
So we're all on the Bucs. We're all on the Bucs and Chiefs.
You know, just let me give you a thought here. You know, in picking the division winners, it's my one more thing. But look, in picking the division winners and in picking the postseason awards, I was trying to it's so easy to just rely on last year and last year's numbers and assume everybody's just going to repeat what they did this year. And I try, especially you look at the NFC East, and there hasn't been a repeat winner since 2004. Is that right?
Yeah. Eagles.
You know what I mean? I just felt like, I could see that streak going on another year. And listen, here's the thing about the Giants. We just don't know what we're going to get.
Yep.
That offensive line, certainly historically terrible right now. There's so many great offensive pieces. If this guy can get 2 seconds to get the ball into somebody else's hands, good things could happen with this team. This defense, and you said it, Trev, this defense right now is getting zero respect from anybody for some reason. I don't get that at all because it's a really good defense, and you're going to see it this year how good this defense is. It's the only way they're going to really be able to – this defense has to play like A-plus level this year if the Giants are going to seriously be a contender. Otherwise, this thing could go 5-12 quick.
We will see, ladies and gentlemen. We are now 27 and a half hours away from the NFL season officially beginning. We will be back next week as we are taking a short little break. So we're going to enjoy a lot of football, ladies and gentlemen. All the football fans enjoy it because from now until February, sorry, ladies, football is back. You know what that means. The boys are falling back and the men are loving it because, well, the best sport in the world is back. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot wait for tomorrow. I cannot wait for opening day and Sunday, the Giants, Big Blue, coming home with fans. I can't wait to see the fans back. It should be a hell of a season. Let's enjoy it, ladies and gentlemen. We're streaming on all social media platforms at Keys of the City, like I said earlier. So comment, like, subscribe, share, give us a follow, give us a comment. Say whatever you feel, please. We like the attention. Or you can follow the podcaster Joe at Twitter or at Clovercrest Media. Ladies and gentlemen, Clovercrest Media presents Keys to the City. We are out.
Yeah. Keys to the city, baby. When you see us, so you know you really viewing greatness in the making. Double up on facts we stating. Podcasting, cruise control, city, state, the nation. So what you saying, what we saying, prime information. Facts, keys to the city, we unlocking the statements.
Streaming every Friday.